New credit card rules also took effect this past weekend, making most overdraft fees a thing of the past.
New laws are getting rid of charges most people saw when they spent more than what they had in their bank accounts. Joining us now is Dale Mingilton with the Boulder Better Business Bureau, here to try and make sense of all the changes. Dale, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So one of the changes is when a customer tries to spend more than they have in their account, now it's going to be just denied.
Well, they actually can either opt in or opt out, so it's really their choice. And so it's basically going to have you opt out first. You have to agree to the terms and conditions, knowing that you could be charged anytime you go over limit.
Talk about the new Credit Card Disclosure Act. It's a mouthful. A lot of people don't know that it started. This is sort of the second phase of this.
It is. So the first phase started in the beginning of 2010. Okay. And you probably saw your statements change, where all of a sudden your balance said, how do you pay that off over 5 years? That was the first phase. The second phase started looking at the different fees that are being charged. And so what they've tried to do is change the fee structure so that it's fair for the consumers, but also fair for the institution, because there is a cost when folks do go over limit or abuse their credit cards. So a couple of things that they've really done is they've eliminated there's no inactivity fee. As I was saying, it's funny, I'm a former banker, and so normally I'm used to sitting across the desk from you telling you about all these fees. But what happened in the past is many folks would have these credit cards and they would just sit dormant. And so that's how you kind of ping the customer to make sure that, are you still using it? Is this credit card lost or stolen? You're also going to see a different way that you're charged for your fees. For example, if you're late and your minimum payment's only $10, you're not going to get charged any more than $10. Before, you may have been charged a little more than that. You're also limited on the amount of your fee that you'll get charged, and so they're limiting that to $25 unless you've had some problems in the past and maybe been late. You can go up to $35. So there's a bunch of different changes out there that you have to look at. Adjustments of your interest rates. You have to have better notification whether it goes up or down, and then you can they'll look at it and reevaluate it after a certain period of time.
Now, in all, this is good news for consumers who hold credit cards. I mean, there are some good things, but like you said, it's a balancing act.
It is good news as long as you really understand your statements, understand how to use your credit, make sure that you're reading the contracts. The tough part at the Better Business Bureau is that we get into conflict when folks don't read their contract very carefully, and the business may be right and you may be wrong.
Sure.
So you have to really read those disclosures. The other concern that I would see is that you're going to have a lot of paper coming at you. Okay. And you may not read it, and you may go in the trash can, and then you're going to be surprised when all of a sudden there may be a fee that you didn't anticipate.
Okay. Now, interest rates can change at any time, but now they have to notify you, is that correct?
That's correct. They have to give you a longer period of notification. Then also, if they change that, then they can reevaluate it after 6 months, but they have to let you know about that. Which I think that's probably one of the better disclosures out there, if the rate's going to change. And again, that's whether it goes up or down. So
there was a sneaky practice before, I think, where they could make it happen and say, we told you it could happen at any time.
Well, and you have to be, again, very careful reading those disclosure rates, because you're going to find more paper, and on that paper it's going to get probably a little smaller, and it'll say your rate is good for this amount of time, and after this point we will adjust your rate. And that's been happening for a long time.
I'm guilty of getting all of that information and shredding it. You know, it's like, oh, I know, but there is some fine print that it is worth reading.
Or if you sign up online, we always seem to click the box that says, I accept, and you don't read any of it. So
Absolutely. Dale, thank you so much for the information. We appreciate having you back.
Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. Now, you can contact the Boulder Better Business Bureau at denver.bbb.org, or you could also give them a call at 303-758-2100 if you have any more questions for them.